Good morning and welcome back to Life in the Piedmont. I am Tina. Thanks for being here on my channel. It is a Saturday morning and it has all the sounds, smells, and vibes of summertime. It is warm this morning, little humidity in the air, and bugs flying around. That's how we describe life here in the Piedmont in the summer, which is in Virginia. I am actually sitting in my garden and I am not sure exactly how long I'm gonna last out here because it is a little buggy out here this morning because of the humidity and the heat that is coming later today. But I wanted to come out and just kind of do a chatty video with you and let you know some of the things that I am doing currently and what my future plans are come canning season and everything like that. So grab your cup of tea, water, coffee, whatever you choose to drink in the morning, and come and join me and have a seat in the garden with Tina. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to talk about was my garden. I have my garden pretty well all planted. I ran out of soil and I decided I am gonna go purchase some soil. I'm not gonna make it. This time of the year, it gets hot and you're just hustling and bustling to get everything planted. So I have some more grow bags, 5-gallon grow bags actually, that I wanna fill up that I can use later on. But you saw a little bit of the clip of my garden before, but everything's really thriving in here and I am really thankful for what my garden is doing and everything that it's gonna produce this year for us to eat and even to preserve. But let me talk about the preserving thing. I don't grow everything to preserve, and I'll tell you, that would be a really big garden. I'm by myself and that is hard to manage all by myself and taking care of the home. It's a lot of work. And I work on top of it. So I really have shrunk my garden down a lot. I don't even know how big this is, but I had a really big garden. And when I was home full time, that was easier to manage. I was out there on a daily basis. This and grow bags has just made my life so much easier. So no matter how big of a space or how small of a space that you may have, I really encourage you to go get some grow bags and purchase some of those, fill it up with some soil, and plant a tomato or a pepper. And I promise you, it'll make your life so much easier. So anyhow, the reason I am out here this morning is I wanted to share with you is I got to thinking about preserving and gardening, knowing that I don't grow everything in my garden that I want to and enable me to preserve food for my family and put on my shelf. I will supplement that with farmers. Typically, I go up to Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and because I have really great working relationships with a lot of the farms up there, I get really a significant discount, and the products that I get are just really unbelievable. So I'm telling you, you do what's best for you and your family, but don't beat yourself up over it too if for some reason your garden isn't massive. Life is real. We are all busy. We're all doing things, and do what you can. And if you're supplementing your stuff, that's okay. The important thing is that you are putting food up on your pantry shelf for your family and for the future. That's really what it's all about. So let me get started to where I'm at. Let me put my coffee down really quick, and I'll show you what I did just a couple of days ago to actually. I set myself some goals is what I'm trying to do, and maybe that's not the best place for my coffee, but I can always go get more if a bug or ant gets into it. This is my book of all time for canning. Okay, it's the Ball Home Preserving book. I'm telling you, friends, this book is the best. I've had this book for years, and it's my go-to book for anything. But I wanted to show you what I did. So I was really thinking, so this year I'm going to be doing a series, and it's going to be called Canning with a Purpose. And that purpose is not only just to can, but to can with a purpose. What can I can to put on my shelf that is going to make meals for me and my family? Or one jar meals, like soups, stews, stuff like that. So that is my purpose this year. That is my goal, is to be canning with a purpose and not to can just to can to have stuff that maybe just doesn't get eaten. I know that I will not can ketchup anymore. I will not make what was it? It was peppers and vinegar and that. I can't think of the name. It was like hot pepper. I won't can that again. But let me show you. I made a list. I am very old school. I should have put this in Excel, but you know, I like to sit down and go through my cookbook, and I like to see what is it that my canning book has to offer for me to preserve food. So I wrote down canning with a purpose, and then you could see right there, it says summer items. And the one thing that I have found that's been a big hit is I am gonna definitely be canning more pizza sauce. The stuff is so good, and we try to have pizza. I haven't made it in a while, but I try and do pizza maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks. I make my own dough. I have videos on that, and I also use the big flatbreads, and you can use naan bread as well to make the pizza. But anyhow, I'm just gonna run down. So pizza sauce, salsa, peaches, red hot sauce, barbecue sauce I'm gonna try this year. I'm gonna make a tomato paste. My yard sauce I'm gonna make, and that is basically at the end of the year, all the vegetables that aren't big enough to do anything with, but you have just like tomatoes, pepper, squash and stuff. I put all that together, roasted in my oven, and it makes a delicious sauce for pasta. I'm actually gonna do a seasoned tomato sauce, whether I always do tomatoes anyhow, but I'm gonna do like an Italian one and then a chili based one to make chili. And we're gonna do potatoes. And I think that's about it. Jalapeno jelly, and I think I'm gonna try a tomato basil jam this year. Because if worse comes to worse, you know, these make great gifts for the holiday season that will be just around the corner too, before you know it. So then one of the things I said, well, what else can I freeze? So I'm going to freeze corn. I want to try and freeze some greens. I want to puree pumpkin. And I also want to try and can and freeze more chicken stock and vegetable stock. And then in fall, when fall comes around and we're settling in, putting things to bed, but they're still preserving it and canning and do all the way through fall. And there I am thinking about soups to prepare for the winter. And I'm thinking about doing vegetable soups and chili, beef stew, a chicken noodle soup. And that's what I have listed for right now. Those are my goals. Those are the list of things that I would like to get accomplished in my garden this year and in my home for my pantry. And one of the ways by doing that, Jessica over at Three Rivers Homestead decided to do a pantry challenge in June. Normally she does it at the beginning of the year. She did one this year from January, I think, through like February or March. And the goal is to use everything in your pantry and not have to go to the grocery store. You kind of make up your own rules on what works best for you. So this summer, I just started this week, my goal was, of course, cook and use everything that I have, but I have a lot of stuff in my freezer still that I didn't get to preserve from last year. So I am using that in my pantry challenge with Three Rivers Homestead. Trying not to go to the store, giving myself an allowance if I need to go get fresh produce because my produce here isn't producing the way I want it. I'll buy that. But I'm really trying to be intentional about using what I have in my freezer, emptying my freezers out, and those items that I did not get a chance to preserve last year, I'm going to do that. And I'm either going to, I'm going to put it in my pantry in mason jars. One of the things that I just did is I dehydrated I don't know how many blueberries, and I knew when I was pulling these out of my freezer, my husband was going to be so pleased because now there's some room. I didn't realize how many blueberries I had, but the good news is blueberry season is right around the corner. So I'll be stocking back up, and I don't know, but I have dehydrated blueberries. So I'm rambling too much. I need to get to the next thing, because if I don't, then this video is going to be too long, and I don't want to make it that long of a video. So let me show you what else I'm going to be doing with a purpose this year, and trying to be really intentional about how I use my products that I preserve. All right, friends, so here's another book that I highly recommend. This is my dehydrating cookbook. Awesome cookbook. Absolutely love this cookbook, and I'm really starting to learn it and try to use it a lot more this year, not only with preserving food, but also cooking. Let me show you just a couple of things about this cookbook that I love. It has directions for everything that you could possibly want when stocking your pantry. So again, I made a list of the items that I really want to start dehydrating. And when I think of something, I'm going to add it to my list. But right now I have potatoes, onions, herbs, cranberries, and apples. And then I did my blueberries. Now last year I did herbs. I did basil, I did parsley, and I absolutely loved it. I did cilantro. And again, I will resource that stuff if mine doesn't produce enough. Now I will use what I have here, but if I need to go get more to get me through the year, then that's what I'm gonna do, and I'll dehydrate it. So anyhow, that is my list. That is my intention, is to dehydrate more. So let me turn this around so I can show you what I'm talking about. I just love this book. So it tells you about how dehydration works, which is wonderful. But one of the best things I thought about when I opened this book is, it is literally telling you how to food prep, how to dry your items. It tells you exactly what temperature to put it on and how long you should dehydrate it. And on top of that, you can come back here and say, I want to make, see, I dehydrated my blueberries, so I want to make blueberry lemon muffins, which I can do that because I have everything for it. And it tells me right here exactly how to do it and how to reconstitute my blueberries and anything else that I dehydrate. That is what is so great, even from the soup. So I can dehydrate my carrots and my green beans and see my onions. And this is just going to be another way of preserving food and putting it on my shelf. I will put these into mason jars because I will use it, but you also can use in like Mylar bags with an oxygen absorber. That will give you a longer shelf life out of it. For those of you who have freeze dryers, same concept. I'm sure you already know that. A freeze dryer is on my list, maybe in the future, I don't know, but right now I like my dehydrator. I enjoy being able to dehydrate food. I have practiced with it over the past year of some of the things that I've dehydrated from peppers, like bell peppers I've dehydrated and I've added into soups, like a taco soup that I've made. I've done apples, which I have packed for snacks on the road. And so that's just where I'm at in my head. Everything that I am going to do this year to preserve food will be with a purpose. And I don't want to can just a can to say, oh, I can this summer and put it up on my shelf. I want a can with a purpose that's going to feed my family, maybe feed a family member, give as a gift or something like that. That's my goal. So bottom line is this, if this interests you, click subscribe and like, follow me on the journey, and we'll can together and we'll preserve food together with a purpose. Okay? Doesn't that sound like fun? But before I head out, because it is buggy here, I had to throw my cup of coffee away. So I'm gonna have to go in and get a new cup of coffee this morning. It is going to be warm today. Yesterday we were in the 90s. Today we're in the mid 80s, but the good news is my wonderful pool that I have that's above ground that I got at Walmart is warm enough to go in. So when all the hard work is done out here in the yard and on the property today, I will go relax in the pool for a little while. So I'm going to take you on a quick tour and show you what my garden's doing. Here we go, friends. This is all the onions. I probably need to get back out here and water, but we got all these onions. My potatoes are doing fantastic. My garlic is doing well, and my squash plant last year, it looked like that little one over there. I don't think that one's gonna survive. This year, this one is just taken off. I am so impressed with how big this plant has gotten so far. Cucumbers are thriving. My peppers are going. The lettuce, it got hot, so I'm gonna have to get back out here and pick some more. Tomatoes are just going. And over there are all peppers. And those aren't taken very well for some reason. I'm not sure why, but they seem like some of those, they're zinnias, but they seem like they're dying off, and I'm not sure why. And then my petunias are doing really well, and the marigolds that I've planted around my garden are doing well. I still have a half a flat of marigolds to plant. I'm just not sure what I'm gonna do with them. I think when these zinnias die off, I'm gonna plant some more marigolds in there. And then over there, this is my little greenhouse I got off Amazon. I absolutely love it. I think it's the cutest little thing, and during the winter, I'm actually gonna experiment inside this and see what I can grow during the colder months. Since it is a greenhouse, it gets the sun. Hopefully I can start my cold winter crops easier and see if I can grow lettuce or anything during the winter this year. Well, it depends on how cold the weather is too here. So I hope that you like this little chatty video. I wasn't sure what I was gonna film because it's kind of in between stages right now of gardening and that. I'm not really preserving anything, but if you like this and you wanna can more with a purpose and be more intentional in preserving and putting food, come and follow me and subscribe and like. And together we will do this. We will be successful together. So thanks for joining me here in the Piedmont. That sun is coming through. I'm gonna get in the house. I have dishes to finish up because I need to get back outside. All right, everybody, have a great day, and thanks again. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.